Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate that. And if you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website. By the way, I update this channel daily, so stay tuned. The watch on my wrist is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 43.5 millimeters. This is a case size that became available outside of the GMT model back in 2016. The 43.5, a nice compromise between the 42 and the, frankly, Brobdingnagian 45.5s. This is a wearable, modern, visible tool style watch that also has the discretion such that if you have the wrist for it, you could easily wear this as your all-arounder and all-the-time timepiece. A daily driver, 43.5 millimeters in diameter, 16.3 millimeters thick. That's the most constraining dimension, so this won't fit underneath most cuffs. Jackets are okay, but not dress shirts. 48.9 millimeters from lug-to-lug, and one of the changes for 2016 was the arrival of pivoted end links, so the lug-to-lug dimension of the watch truly is the dimension across the wrist. The spacing between the lugs is 21 millimeters, so the watch has a nice proportional stance, end link to lugs. The watch is also blessed with a wonderfully substantial Omega bracelet. Now, Omega has closed the gap to Rolex. There was a time when Omega was head and shoulders above in bracelets and clasps, then Rolex narrowed the gap and even pulled ahead in the 2000s, and now Omega has caught back up again. Good taste here, all satin finish. You can see that the links are oval in cross section, removable links are fixed by screws. There's plenty of channeling underneath to vent the wrist as well as avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The clasp is machined from the solid and artfully executed with engraved logo and marquee. You can see there's a polished bevel on the side, lozenge style oval polished triggers. It is a trigger system, and internally there are two different ways of making adjustments. You can use the push button incremental slider. There's 9.6 millimeters of adjustment there, but then if you want to fold out over a winter coat or a dive suit of some kind, you have that additional fold out extension, which is also machined from the solid and quite redoubtable. Close it all up, jump back to the case. It's the case we've come to know over the years. Satin finished flanks, lyre shaped lugs, a little bit of a bevel that runs the length of the case in high polish, the helium escape valve with frosted top and relieved and polished HE logo. That's there for you saturation divers, so if you're diving with exotic gas mixtures and helium gets in the watch, you can open this before the dive to ensure that the helium does not dislodge your crystal or the seals of the timepiece. The watch features a ceramic bezel insert with liquid metal that is an amorphous metal structure for the indices and the numerals that has been co-molded with the ceramic so it can never separate. Highly scratch resistant. The blue ceramic also perfectly matches the tone of the blue ceramic zirconium oxide dial. The bezel ratchet is excellent. Take a listen. This is one of Omega's best bezel ratchets. It sounds good, it feels good. You can see the recesses between the edge of the bezel are satin and the actual knurled nubs themselves are of high polish. The watch features a ceramic dial that gives you all the advantages of enamel without the vulnerabilities, which is to say it's glossy, gleaming, lustrous, immune to oxidation, tarnish, or staining, but it doesn't have the vulnerabilities of enamel, so it's not as prone to cracking. It's also not as vulnerable to errant marks by a watchmaker's tool, and of course it doesn't have the high cost of enamel, so this really is the best of both worlds. The hands, as well as the indices and the numerals and the Omega marquee, are white gold, so they will not oxidize or tarnish either. There's a tastefully rendered monotone dark date disc, and the watch features a double broad arrow set of hands because the Planet Ocean, though not the vintage play in the Omega catalog, does pay some deference to Omega heritage. You have the stop seconds function I just demonstrated, so you can set the watch to a reference time, but there's also the time zone feature that allows you to move the hour hand independently while the watch keeps ticking, and you can even drive the date forward or backwards if you're transiting the international date line. Now, the watch has the helium escape valve, and it is water resistant, rated to 600 meters, which means it is a remarkably tough diving bell for your wrist. Caliber 8900, it's the new Matos chronometer, so 6-position testing instead of the 5 of the COSC, and fully cased up testing of the assembled watch rather than bare movement testing as with the COSC. There's also anti-magnetism. The watch is tested to high degrees of magnetic flux density, and it is anti-magnetic to over 15,000 Gauss, or 1.5 Tesla. Silicon hairspring, free sprung balance with a full balance bridge for shock resistance, those two features. The watch beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, and you can see the shuriken-like escape wheels of the tri-level coaxial escapement just below my finger. It's actually visible, and it's quite a thing to watch. Mesmerizing it is. And it was invented by George Daniels in 1974, first industrialized by Omega in 1999, 20 years this year. It is now both precise and durable. Short-term timing stability, long-term timing precision, and reduced maintenance requirements. One of the reasons Omega backs these watches with 5-year warranties. Twin mainspring barrels, 60-hour power reserve. The twin mainspring barrels also help to reduce the loss of amplitude over 24 hours or 48 hours after winding. Côte de Genève and arabesque with blackened and polished screws. It's an interesting looking movement, and it is a fascinating piece of mechanical architecture, as the coaxial likely remains the most sophisticated escapement system you can purchase for under $50,000, and a bit of independent watchmaking cool in a mass-produced watch. You can see this Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean and make it yours on the Watchbox.